I am pressing number 10 on the treadmill and going from 0 to a 6 minute per mile pace. In order to pick up speed with each step, my feet keep dropping behind my upper body center of balance. That is the only way you can pick up speed with each step to reach your pace. Then, when I reach my pace, my feet keep dropping ahead of my upper body center of balance, but as little ahead as I possibly could make it, because if I reach any further ahead, my pace will slow down and I will not be running at a 6 minute. A current fad in running technique is to drive at one angle, head to toe. It is ridiculous because look how fast the angle changes. You can, if they want you to push into the ground, you could only do it at 100 different angles. You cannot do it at one angle.
Hi, I'm Dr. Haglund, and I'm a physician that believes that medicine should come from the farm and not the pharmacy. I've actually had the extreme privilege of getting people well by using nutritional techniques. Today I'm going to get a chance to introduce a very special guest to you. Her name is Jody Hawkins. Jody, it's the first time I've had a chance to meet you, and I think probably one of the neatest things I've seen is that display that you have at your house, and the steps there, all those pictures and medals and things like that. So why don't you tell me and the rest of these people about yourself?
Okay, whenever I got out of college, I ran professionally for 10 years. During that time, I was a 4-time United States national champion, and I was ranked number 6 in the world by Runner's World magazine on the roads for 2 years. That was in 1993 and again in 1994. I've recently retired from running. I did have a chance to meet Jack, and he explained his technique to me back in '94 when I was still racing very seriously. So I didn't get the opportunity to try it for myself. So I'm here today to check it out and see what it's all about.
So for sure, you're an expert that's had all this opportunity to try a lot of techniques.
Oh yes, lots of things. I've tried everything that I can to get faster, and now that I'm getting older, I need every little bit of help I can get. I'm about to head into the master circuit. I just figured that out at 35, so any tips that Jack can give me to get better would be great for me at this point in my life. I'm excited to try it.
And this is the first time that you've actually seen this working, isn't it true?
Yes, sir.
All right, you never used it in competition before?
No, never have.
Well, I've tried it myself, and I think you'll find it very easy, most exciting, an opportunity to get back into running at the level you want to go to.
Okay, well,
let's
do it.
I think we ought to go meet Jack.
Okay, let's go.
All right, come.
You see, it's the only way you can go. You cannot get yourself forward unless you push yourself over the vertical leg.
Okay.
Okay? Now, what I want you to do is pick up your front foot now.
Lean on the back?
Keep your weight in between your
Okay.
feet and just pick up your front foot, and you're going to have to fall forward because your weight is ahead of your back foot. Pick up your front foot. See that? And it's the only way you can move. You can't do anything with muscles to move any differently than that. Gravity is the exerted force when you're moving horizontally, and no muscles are pushing you. All you're doing is locking your leg and letting it act as a vaulting pole. Okay, now let's go over to the wall and I'll show you something else.
Okay.
The foot is held on the ground by friction. The socket holds the bottom of the leg in place while the top of the leg arcs forward as a vaulting pole. The leg rolls forward in the socket of the foot, and the body rolls forward on the socket of the hip. When the weight is centered between the heel and toe, you can't walk or run. Lift your toe and the weight is ahead of your heel. You are no longer centered over the base, so gravity pushes you ahead. Keep your weight centered over your foot by pressing the toe. Even with the foot lifted in front of the other, the weight is still centered over the foot, and you will still be standing still. The only way you can move forward is by placing the weight ahead of the feet. There is no other way. You cannot push back into the ground to move forward. If you lift your front foot, you're going to be falling forward. If you lift your back foot, you're going to be falling backward. No muscles could change the direction of the way that you move. Anytime that somebody tells you the long stride and pushing back at the ground, it's impossible to do. The only way that you could move horizontally is by your weight being ahead of the base. Okay, Jody, now I'm going to show you something about how gravity is the exerted force, and you can't use any force with your muscles to push yourself forward.
Okay.
What I want you to do is lean slightly, lean against the wall, pressing your fingers with gravity. Now what I want you to do is push back against the ground and see if you could add more pressure against the wall than gravity is providing. Then I want you to step further back, lean more, and see that gravity is supplying more pressure against your fingertips, but you can't add any more pressure by pushing back against the wall.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to try that.
I can't apply any more pressure without leaning forward. And of course now I can, but traditionally in running, the harder you press against the ground, the faster you're going to go. Is that totally opposite of what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, that's totally opposite of what I'm trying to show, and that is really the essence of my technique. My technique shows that your legs act as vaulting poles with no pushing back against the ground. The position that you place the vaulting pole, which is your feet, is going to give you your speed. If you position it far ahead of you, you're going to slow down. If you drop it more to the rear, you're going to speed up, just as if you were working with a vaulting pole.
Okay, that makes sense to me. What about a lot of runners have problems with getting started because their knees and their ankles hurt, the bones and the grinding of that. What do you do for that with your technique?
Okay, well, one thing you could do, there are a few things that you're supposed to be doing. One thing you could be doing, you should be doing, is making sure that whenever you land, your knee is slightly bent. Just slightly is enough so that the muscles absorb the impact rather than the bones. If you were landing with your foot straight, one bone pushes back into the other and crushes whatever is in between the two bones. So you wouldn't want to do that. Now what I'd like to do is show you something else on the treadmill, if you want to come over this way.
Okay.